Hi there, this is Toby from Toby Urban Sketch, and it's time today for another of my 10-minute Instagram challenges. Today we're doing hashtag Draw Don's Boat Family, a really interesting challenge. 3 little boats, well, a big boat, a medium boat and a small boat, I guess. They really fill the picture, so it's quite intimidating to look at, but let's see what we can do with them. If you enjoy my videos, please do like and subscribe. It's a real support to my channel. And today I'm using, going back to my normal pens, the Winsor Newton fine liners. I've been trying out some other pens recently and I just want to remember what these are like to see which one I prefer. I might use a Pentel gel pen in there. I've got my normal watercolors and just a size 8 round brush, quite small for a size 8. This is a 6x6 inch Cardi paper square, obviously, sketchbook. So let's get started and I will talk you through what I'm doing. Just do a little time check. We've got 10 minutes starting now. So we've got 3 boats to fit in, so I'm going to start with really loose lines to just try and position them approximately correctly on the page. They have 3 very different sizes. Like I said, quite intimidating to look at as a sketch. Lots of curves, lots of symmetry, which is always challenging to draw, I think. And already we need to just get the bottom of that boat in. There we go. Because the bottoms will need to line up. So why do things in 10 minutes? Well, to challenge yourself, to learn new skills, for a bit of fun. To learn what shortcuts you can take and which ones you can't through experimentation, and just as a way of being able to get in some sketching, painting every day. If you always set out to do a 2-hour, 3-hour, 4-hour painting, you'll struggle on those busy days to do anything. Whereas if you just learn to get comfortable doing silly things like this, you'll find you can suddenly do so much more with your hobby. So we've got these basic shapes in. We're doing 10 minutes, so what we just need to aim for is those really simple basic shapes. And they're all on the same kind of stand. They've all then got this sort of square, rectangle. The really interesting bit is the rope work and radars going on at the top. You can see I'm just trying to almost just for these bits just do continuous line drawing. It's a fantastic way of making your lines interesting, is by not overthinking them even slightly. So this guy's got a slightly different shape to its helmet. And this one's back to being sort of quite square. Let's make a bit of a roof on it, and then it's got its radar as well. And it's got a little thing up here with a rope. And we've got some little things on the roof as well. I'm not sure what they'll be. Okay, so you can see this pen is very fine. So what I'm going to do, I like this Unipin 0.5mm, and we're going to just go over, now that we've got our shapes sorted, and we're going to again sort of one line draw it and just re-emphasize some of these important shapes. The pen work underneath is sort of acting as a lot of texture for us, as well as guidelines for our bold lines. But we're really just focusing on not overcomplicating anything. Let's get these back in, and then these little wings. This chappy, I'm actually going to widen him up. Just goes to show that even when you've done these initial pen marks, there's plenty of movement left in there if you want. Playing fast and loose with the well, with everything, but the number of windows in these, because it's not about accuracy. I can't remember who said it, but one of my favourite quotes is, "I don't want to see the truth, I want a beautiful lie." So we've got this wonderful basis, these interesting boats, which are a brilliant basis for a scene. But that doesn't mean we have to draw them exactly as they are. We can make decisions which enable us to maximize what we're producing. So we've also got these cables running in the background, which just provide a fabulous link for everything. So they need to go in. I'm almost 5 minutes in. And then we've got a load of what looks like weeds or something. Again, these sort of random lines, they join everything up. And then we want a horizon line in there as well. And that comes in about here. And then we'll just, a firm horizon with a sort of wonky top to show that it's a cliff or some greenery. Now we're not going to have time to carefully colour everything in, so we can add some of these defining tones just with really quick pen marks. There's some other lines going through here. This is water in the background. And these horizontal lines just link everything. They make it far more enjoyable to look at, I think. So, how long have we got? Just 4 minutes left now. Okay, going to be a challenge. I suppose that's the point though, isn't it? So I want a sort of unified sky. So I'm going to come round, getting water on, trying to paint around some of our external parts of the boat. The background is quite dull in colour, so I'm going to use a cerulean. I'm going to tilt it quite a lot and just drop it in. And let it paint itself as much as possible. And then give it a little help with some splashes. Ooh. There we go. And then also just a few drops of stronger pigment in, and there we go. Okay, still got 3 minutes, which is fantastic. Now the boats are in this all the sort of murky off-white. They're not going to be that in our image though. So I've added water, quite a lot of water to the bottom of all the boats, and we're going to pick 3 different colours and drop them in. So that's a Scarlet Lake. I'm going to pick another warm colour at the other end. So this is a burnt sienna. And then let's go for something cool. This is a French ultramarine. Gonna let them. Actually, what I'm gonna do this hasn't done as much as I'd like, so just make it more interesting. We'll add a bit of the French ultramarine as well. Get a bit more variation in there. Gonna let that do its thing for literally a minute while we just, like I say, unify everything along here. Probably something simple. So I'm going to get a neutral tint. Gets the idea of the shade in. Can come in as well in the windows. And then it's sand. So this is a raw sienna. And this is a pansy yellow, and we'll just water that Hansa yellow down to come across the bottom as well. 1 minute left. So these boats have had enough time sitting. I'm going to bring in some complementary colours. So here's a bit of quinacridone magenta. Don't want to use too many colours, so the French ultramarine is just going to get some cerulean in it. And I actually think neutral tint and burnt sienna will provide enough interest in this boat. A few little splashes in there as well. A few splashes in this. Actually, I'm just going to dab here because I think it will go everywhere otherwise. Get a tiny bit of shape. And how are we doing? That's 10 minutes, all right. So I'm going to, as they say, or as I keep saying, let it dry and see what it looks like. All right, so here it is after 10 minutes and some drying. So I think that's pretty interesting image. I actually think it's got quite a lot of potential. So I'm going to go ahead and just show you what we could do next, or if we had a bit more time after it's dried. So the first thing I would say is we can get more shape into these boats. So I'm coming back in with the same colours. It's actually a mix of quinacridone magenta and Scarlet Lake, but mixed in with some neutral tint to really deepen it. And just add that in and just soften out the edges. And this is what you get from doing something longer, the ability to layer. And you can see how dark this was before it dried, and now actually this shadow's lost a lot of its intensity, because that's what watercolour does, and that's why layering is important. So I'm not for a minute pretending these 10-minute challenges are, you know, the best way to produce your best finished work, but they are a fun way of, you know, learning to do something quickly, getting you out of your comfort zone, all of that kind of thing. I'm just coming in again. These are all just the same colours as I used before, but just getting more intensity of colour in. So it's neutral tint, raw sienna, and the Hansa yellow. This background is fine. We want the background to stay in the background, and I think the intensity is fine, especially as we sort of bring everything else forward. So this is more burnt sienna, and then this is some neutral tint just dropping in. So watercolour for me is all about the variations you can produce. So you can mix interesting things, but you can also mix on the page to really, you know, make everything, even a flat surface, can become really just interesting through its variations, and by letting watercolours just do what watercolours want to do, which is move around. Also takes the pressure off you, and you have to accept that some things will go a bit haywire, but you learn gradually, and you know, this is one of the skills you can learn through doing things really quickly. You learn what's likely to happen, and therefore how to maximize your chances of producing something that you wanted to happen. So there, I've just been adding in these deeper tones, leaving little gaps of light. Just come along here, and it gives the shape of the boat a bit more. Now that I'm not really timing myself, you can be a little bit more careful, but still making things interesting. It can be fun to add, you know, where you've got these structures at the top, just highlighting them with touches of colour. You know, these colours aren't in the image at all, they're just, but it sort of unifies things if we have colours used in one place, used somewhere else. And there we go. I think that's enough. So what was that? That was another 3 minutes. So this is a 10-minute plus 3-minute drawing sketch plus drying time. I think that's really nice, actually. Certainly good enough for me. Always add your signature. All right. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed watching, or if you didn't, please comment. If you enjoyed, like it and subscribe. It's a real support to my little channel. And I'd love to just know what is good, what isn't, so that I can bring more things which people actually want to see. Thanks for watching again, and have a good rest of your day.